Could I have your attention, please? Do continue eating. The food is fabulous. But now I'm going to give you food for thought. So I want to welcome you to the Women Entrepreneurs Forum, and it's titled An Intergenerational Dialogue because our entrepreneurs started their businesses at different stages in life. And to lead us into this wonderful discussion, I have Carla Grant Pickens, who is Vice President, yes, Vice President and Chief Diversity Officer for IBM. Please, welcome her again.
So good afternoon, ladies. I know we have you here right after lunch in the land of smiles, and we are so excited to be providing you with this amazing panel of women entrepreneurs. You're going to learn so much about their stories, what they've done to get to this point in their life, the challenges and how they've overcome them, and their personal stories. So we are so excited about this dialogue, and I want to start with our first lady here on the panel, our first woman entrepreneur, Sharala Axred, who's the founder and CEO of the Center for Applied Data Analytics. She's an expert in data science with an engineering background and over 20 years of experience in telco field and industry. And she also, in her role, has brought data incubator to American-based Data Science Center to Malaysia and launched ASEAN's first data science accelerator program. So, Sharala Shah, welcome, but let's roll the video. We're ready for the video. Let's take a look. Well, as we are waiting for the video to roll, I know all of you ladies are here.
All companies, no matter big or small, are transforming their business digitally. They're looking for talents with digital skills to drive digital transformation. Now everyone is expected to work with emerging technologies where data is the key ingredient. No matter what background you're from, no matter which position you're in, you will be expected to work with data. The truth is, you don't need to be a data professional to work with data. What you need is the ability to analyze, communicate, and work with data. This is data literacy. But how do you become data literate? Step 1, identify your digital skills. Step 2, get clarity on what skills to learn based on industry demands. Step 3, get a personalized learning path unique to you. Step 4, get matched with jobs and projects relevant to you. Step 5, connect with peers, mentors, industry experts, and employers. Step 6, participate in competitions to build reputation. Join thousands of others in a growing community. Future-proof your skills. Become data literate.
All right, fabulous. So Shah, tell me a little bit about your career story and how did you become an entrepreneur?
Okay, thanks first of all for having me. So my story is an interesting one, and I've met all these ladies. It's fascinating to hear theirs. So I come from a small town up north of Malaysia. If anybody knows Penang, that's where I'm from. Okay, and I come from a very traditional Hindu family. Now we heard a lot of the IBM ladies talking about, how they took a career in technical and technology. So I always say this, right? Behind a very successful woman is a very progressive man, but a very worried mom. Okay? So when I told my mom I wanted to become an engineer, her reaction to me was, "Who will marry you?" Okay? So this is every Asian girl's story. Education is so important because it gives you potential a very good husband. Okay? But not necessarily a career that you want to be with men. So I am an accidental entrepreneur. Okay? That's where the progressive man comes behind. I left the country from Malaysia to find better, career in Europe, married a Swede, and I came back. So I do tell people I went all the way to find a white man only to bring me back. So that's a whole different story to talk about. So, one of the reasons I started CATS was a very personal reason. I'm driven by the purpose that the fact that why would people like me leave the country? Why would we in ASEAN have so much happening for us, yet we would find something outside ASEAN? So analytics was one of the first things in 2014, 2015. It's
Okay.
very new.
Yes.
And I knew that if I had something like that, I could offer jobs for people like me who would come back and could earn the money that I was seeking outside the country and potentially stop people like me from leaving. So on a family front, I got 2 children,
Okay.
a daughter and a boy, who have no idea what I'm doing. So I realized it's monkey see, monkey do. So I need to talk to them more about what I do. And over the years, I'm working on it. Being a tech person, I also realized that, being a woman, I also realized that we don't talk about our success so much.
That's right.
Yes,
And
so-
we have to do that more, right?
Yeah, it's bragging, right? So.
Yeah, we have to be a little braggalicious about what we're doing and do this well. This is something we could do better.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about some of the challenges that you faced during the pandemic with your business. Any challenges and how have you overcome those?
Okay, so I've been a little lucky in some of the challenges. Of course, everybody is talking about digital transformation. When I started 2014, 2015, everybody thought they had a 5-year plan that they could work on. And then the pandemic happened, and it was like, I need to get this done yesterday. So what happened with me was my company got the 2 years revenue was done in that first year. So I had a huge growth. Now that's a good problem to have, but the challenges that I faced was I did not have the capital to grow the business when I was getting so much business. And I was not prepared for that. Because you got to remember this, right? My mom taught me not to spend the money I don't have. And raising money here means I have to start, meeting people. That's a different business model altogether. So for me, the challenge, and I know that there's many, many forums, people talk about women having difficulties raising money, and I never thought I would be one of them because, being a woman entrepreneur, I never thought being in a tech world, it was ever an issue for me. But this was one biggest issue that I faced about knowing how to raise money for the company.
How did you do it for those that are struggling with that?
I haven't.
You haven't?
I haven't. So I am still figuring it out.
Okay.
Because what happens is you are trying to build a business, and what I'm building is a new market
Yes.
segment, right? But at the same time, raising money means it's a business model by itself.
Got it.
And you got to learn that too. So
Yes.
it's
Okay.
a learning in progress.
All right. Well, I want to move on and come back to you because you said some very intriguing things I want to learn more about. But I want to speak with our next entrepreneur, Jarapan Jarakan. And she is the co-founder of WHA Corporation, PCL. And she currently serves as the group CEO and chairman of the board of directors for the WHA Group. Thailand's leader in fully integrated logistics and industrial facility solutions. Her rich experience in industrial and logistics sector of Thailand and her passion for innovative solutions has put her in a number of strategic positions over the years. And I want to hear more about your story, but first let's look at the video. Wow. Amazing. Jaraporn, let's start with your career story. I would love to hear that. Then I got to go off script. I got a big question for you after you tell us a little bit about your career story.
Okay, thanks, Cara. Right? And thanks, Kun Gopkan, to invite me to this speaker here. Right? Yeah, for my career, it seemed like when I was young, it's really young because when I was only 10 years old, I have think about I need to create my world. So I would like to be like a businessman or businesswoman, something that I think when I was only 10. And then when I graduated, when I was only 20, I graduated from the Mahidol University about the science, yeah, right? And I know that if I would like to have the business, we need to learn more about the business, right? So I also, when I working at the medical company, I also had my master in business, right? And then when I graduated, so I set up my own company when I was only 26 years old, right? And at that time, I do about the plastic product. And 10 years later, when I was 36, so that I create the BCA Group and the co-founder of the BCA Group with my husband, the co-founder. But he passed away 4 years ago, right? So for the BCA Group, I think about logistics. We talked about 19 years ago. Because of when I do about the industry product or the factory something, we know that Thailand 30 years ago, it seemed like we transformed from agriculture to industrial sector, right? So we have a lot of factory, we have a lot about the manufacturing something like this. But when I look through the chain, I saw the number about logistic cost of Thailand, in Thailand, like now, at that time, the cost really high. It seemed like 18% of GDP. They say, wow, it has a lot of opportunities, right? Because if we compare with about the Europe country, the logistic cost of GDP should be only 1 digit or 9% something. And when